Good morning, everyone. I am Devi Priya, Associate Professor, Department of CSE, Lucky Reddy Balreddy College of Engineering. Today, I would like to share the concept of how to assign object reference variable to another object. Assignment of object reference variables. What is an object? Object in the earlier class we know how to create an object, what are the different ways of creating an object. The same concept continue with the assignment. What is an object? Object is an instance of class. Whenever we have created an object for the class, then only a block of memory will be allotted to that particular class. Just class is a template. We have defined a class with a particular properties like variables and methods, and the class will be converted into uh, re- memory. The class will be, the life will be existed to the class when we have created an object only. So object which is an instance of class, a block of memory will be allotted to whatever the properties will be existed for that variables, a block of memory will be allotted. So object will be created in two ways, and object will be created in a single step. So then no problem. Object will be created in a two-way steps also, declaration and as well as initialization. Whenever I will declare for a particular class, let us take a box class. For a box class, I have declared n number of variables, object 1 variable, object 2 variable, up to n number of variables I can create. And after that, just it is a declaration part only. That will be a declaration part only. And whenever I have allotted the memory, so in that time the memory is allotted, so then only a block of it will be, the class will be, the object will have a pointed to a particular box object. In this the memory will be allotted, in this just a declaration will be there. So let us take a declaration and initialization in two steps. I have a class called box class with a declared two variables which is b1 and b2. Just I have declared box b1 and b2. And now whenever we have a declaration, what will be happen, what is the background concept will be there, I can represent it in the diagrammatic manner. Just it is a declaration part only, box b1 comma b2, just a declaration. It will be only a declaration part. So what will be happen in the declaration, there will be a class called box class, box, and which is pointed by a variable called b1. What it is pointing, memory is not yet allotted, so it will be pointing an object called null, just in the declaration. And in the similar way, there is one more object declaration which is b2 box class, that will be pointed by, what is that, b2, what it is pointing, it is pointing an object called null. So which is at the type of declaration, what will be happen, so declare two variables of box, okay, and two variables are pointed by b1 and b2, and what it will be pointing, there will be no memory will be allotted, simply it is pointing an object called, what is that object, null object will be pointed. And now I will be go to the second step. What is the second step? b1 equal to new of box class. And now the b1 variable, if memory is allotted new and a box class of constructor, this syntax already we know, b1 equal to new box. What will be happen now, for the b1 memory will be allotted Suppose let us assume there are three variables in the box class. Those three variables based on the data types, for those three variables memory will be allotted. Width, height, breadth. Let us assume that box class have three variables, and whenever I have allotted b1 equal to new box, so this b1 is an instance of box class, memory will be allotted. Whatever the variables will be there, for those variables, the block of memory based on the type, if it is double 16 bytes, long 16 bytes, based on the type of the data, byte 1 byte, short 2 bytes, int 4 bytes or 8 bytes, based on the type and platform, the memory will be allotted. And still the B2 is pointing the null object only, because we didn't create any memory, just declared only, declaration is completed. So still B2 is in the pointing the null object. You may consider this scenario, box B button and B2, B button equal to new box, and what the B button will pointing? The B button is pointing the memory of box class with all the three variables, and what the B2 will pointing? B2 is pointing the null object. B2 is pointing null object. So this is the scenario. And now suppose I have created one more, that is for B2 also, I am creating B2 equal to new box. And now what will be happen? So that null object will be removed. Block of memory will be allotted for how many variables? Three variables, which are width, which is height, which is depth. The third one is depth. For all the three variables, that memory will be allotted, because we have created B1 declared and as well as initialization also completed. And now see the scenario. Declaration box B1, B1 equal to new box, B2 equal to new box. Each object have its own block of memory. Yes, each object have its own block of memory will be there. This is the scenario. This is for B2 and this is for B1. We have seen two scenarios. If not memory is not allotted, what the object will pointing. If memory is allotted, what it pointing. Both scenarios we have considered. And now we will go to one more scenario. How it will be? How it will be? I can go to a representation. Box B1 object, B2 object, and initialize the memory for B1, new box B1. Fine. And what will be happen here? Already just only we have seen with the three properties: width, height and depth, width, height, depth, okay, which is pointed by a object reference variable, that is B1, and what is that name here? This is the box object. Now what the B2 will point? B2 is pointing the null. B2 is pointing null, we already know. Now instead of creating a new block of memory, I want to assign what you would like to assign. B2 equal to, I don't want a new box. Already I know that. Even I am not assigning what will be happened, I know that null object. Now, the same block of memory will be pointed by B1 also. I need that thing. So what I had done, instead of creating a block of memory, whatever the B1 will be pointing, for that same block of memory, I am pointing using another variable called what is that? B2. Just carefully observe. Instead of instead of creating two separate block of memories, and instead of assigning, instead of new declaration or new initialization, I am declared two variables b1 b2. B1 equal to new box, memory will be allotted, and now whatever the memory will be allotted to the B1 object, for that same block of memory will be shared by B2 also. How I can do using assignment? Yes, B2 equal to B1. All these are instance variables which are pointed by two reference variables called B1 and B2. B1 I have allotted to B2. So this type of assignment is also possible. How it will be represented? Both will be pointing in the same memory. Assigning object reference variable. Assigning object reference variable. Yes. B2 at B1 box, B1 and B2, B1 equal to new box, B1 value will be assigned to the B2, B2 at B1 is pointing the same object. So this is the scenario how it will be pointing. And whenever I have done the some initialization using B1, that should be reflected to B2 also. W is 10, 20, that is 30. That should be shared by B2 also because it is an assignment. So let us take one example. Yes, class box. Two variables I am taking int width, int height, int depth. Yes, just box class and class demo object assign public static void main of string args declare two reference variables for box class box b1 comma b2, and now b1 equal to new box initialization. We know that what will be happen in the scenario 9 assign b1 to b2. How I can assign b2 equal normal assignment of variables b2 equal to b1. Now use the b1 instance to assign values to HWB. Just you may assign B1 dot H equal to 20, B2 dot H equal to 10, B2 dot WHD, W and D equal to B1. Okay, W I have assigned, W and H I have assigned. Uh, use B2 to assign to assign value to b1 dot w equal to 20, b1 dot h equal to 10, b2 dot d equal to 20. And now print system dot out dot println. Now using b1, okay, system dot out dot println. Now print it b1 dot w, b1 dot h. We have now, we will get some clarity how it will be. Is it commonly shared or not? We will get some clarity. H and D. And similarly B2 also. Even you are not assigning, just it is a common memory will be there, for that we are using. Yes, what we are doing, just we have taken a box class with the three variables WHD, created a main class, declared two reference variables for the box class, box B1 comma B2, and initialization is performed for block of memory will be performed for only B1, and after that we have assigned the B2 value to the B1, and now the W and H is assigned. The values will be assigned using B1 instance, and D value will be assigned B2 instance, because I know that both B1 and B2 is pointed same block of memory. Okay. And now printed. Is it really assigned or not? I need to verify. Demo object assign dot Java Java C demo object. Yes, compiled successfully. Demo object. Yes. What is the using B1 instance? I am getting a value called 20, 10, 30, and using the B2 instance also I am getting 20, 10, and 30. If you are creating a separate block of memory, each object have its own instance variables, which I have already shared in the earlier class. But it is the concept is focusing on a common block of memory, assignment of one value to the another. A block of memory will be shared by two variables B1 and B2. Suppose, so even because a common memory, even I have assigned using W and H will be assigned by B1 and D will be assigned by the B2. The values will be updated in the common block of memory, which is printed. And suppose if you are taking one more variable B3, and maybe you may create a separate B3 equal to new box. Don't assign value. Don't assign any value. Don't assign any value. Just you may try to print it. B3 object. I have declared, and as well as what will be happen? There will be new. Whenever a memory is allotted, the memory is allotted. What are the three variables? W, H, D, and what is the variable, reference variable? It will be B3. What is the object? Box object. And memory will be allotted, but I didn't assign any value. What will be the default based on the type? The type will be integer. So the default values will be assigned. So if you have object B1 and B2 only sharing the common, B3 is again a different instance. B3 equal to new box. So different instance. So I am getting an output called 000. So check it, save the program. Yes, 20, 10, 30, 20, 10, 30 and using B3 000. Am I got the same? Yes. Yes. 000. In this way, we can work with the assignment. If you need the assignment, you want to give the same block of memory to the different objects instead of class variables. Instance memory, block of memory you want to share to the particular variables, you may use this concept assignment. Suppose again you want to scenario. You want to, okay, the example and requirement is completed. Suppose you want to assign the B2 object with again null value. How I can assign? Now my requirement is everything is over. I would like to assign B2 object with the null value. B2 object with the null value. So simply you may take B2 equal to null. Assigning null object to B2. Assigning null object to B2. Nothing will be printed here, but if you want to print the same, then you may get some variation. After assigning null to B2, what the B2 dot W, not only W, everything will be B2 dot D, B2 dot H. What will be happen? We can see this. Compiled successfully, but runtime we will get an error. Carefully observe. We can get the error. Carefully observe. Okay, using B1 I got same values. Using B2 I got the same values. B3 memory is initialized. Okay, after assigning null to the B2. Okay, this statement also printed successfully. Now, but when I am trying, null is already assigned. Null is already assigned. After assignment, I am trying to access. If I have assigned null to the B2, it is not, nothing will be pointed. So it will be nothing, it is not pointed by B2 object. I can erase this. What the B2 will points? Now, in this case, the B2 is pointing. What it is pointing? Null object. The B2 is pointing the null. After assigning which statement? After assigning B2 equal to null, B2 equal to null, it is pointing null object. And when you are trying to print the width, depth, height, it is showing a not compile type error. It will be comes to an error called runtime error. What is that error? Exception in threadmine. What is the error name? Java.lang.null pointer exception. What this exception indicates? So you didn't assign any block of memory to the particular variable, but you are trying to access without memory, you are trying to access variables, you are trying to access the methods, then it is generating an exception called, what is that exception? Null pointer exception, which is existed in the java.lang package. Null pointer exception. So writing the program is very important. Similarly, why the errors will be generated, understanding of that thing is also very important. It is generating null pointer exception because B2 object is initialized with the null value. I am trying to access, after assigning null, I am trying to access some properties which gives a runtime error called null pointer exception. So this is the way how you need to create a memory for a particular variables, how you can create instance memory for each variable, and how you can create a common block of memory to the two variables using an assignment, how to assign null memory also, null object to the B2. After assignment, if you are trying to access, what it generates, what type of exception will be generated, null pointer exception. So this is the concept of how to assign object assignment of object reference variables. If you have any doubts, you may put the message or you may put in the comment section. You may send the message. Thank you. Thank you, Anand.